5 Caribbean countries have been named on the European Union's blacklist of tax havens: Barbados, Grenada, Panama, St. Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago. Now, considering the damage, destruction, and deaths of this past hurricane season, the screening process for other jurisdictions like Antigua, Anguilla, Barbuda, the British Virgin Islands, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, Turks and Caicos, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Bahamas have been put on hold. It's expected that further contact will be made with these jurisdictions by February 2018, with the view to resolve these concerns by the end of next year.
In our case, Mr. Speaker, reviewing the concerns listed by the OECD with respect to the non-cooperative countries listed, we are heartened by the fact that our proactive actions and positive discussions with the OECD further qualifies us as a cooperative jurisdiction and deserving of our status irrespective of hurricanes or disruption.
Blacklisted countries could lose access to the European Union's funds. French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire has further stressed that other possible country measures will be decided in the coming weeks. Well, in a statement today, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis acknowledged that the local financial services industry has for some time been under threat, but that since assuming office, his government has been working to get the economy back on track. And this calls for strengthening legislation. This morning, House members briefly debated and passed a compendium of bills and regulations aimed at satisfying the requirements to ensure the country meets various international standards. The bill also put the Bahamas in a position to ratify the Multinational Convention and Mutual Administrative Assistance Tax Matters and the full implementation of the Common Reporting Standard. This while enhancing the framework to allow for the automatic exchange of financial account information. The legislation then will prevent the Bahamas from being placed on the blacklist. Well, ahead of the Prime Minister's statements, the automatic exchange of financial account information regulations, the International Tax Cooperation Bill, and the automatic exchange of financial account information bill were debated and sailed through the House of Assembly, getting full support from both the government and opposition MPs. In moving the bill, Finance Minister K. Peter Turnquest made this case.
Mr. Speaker, these bills seek to satisfy requirements for the Bahamas to be eligible to be invited to ratify the Multilateral Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters, to provide for full implementation of the Common Reporting Standards, enhance the legal framework to allow for the automatic exchange of financial account information by September 2018, and to prevent the Bahamas from being placed on the European Union's list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes.
The minister said, although it seems that they have to continually amend bills to adapt to the changing international demand for cooperation and transparency in tax matters, making those amendments are gravely important as they affect investment.
A large part of our economy is dependent upon foreign direct investment. It's dependent on our ability to earn foreign currency in order to facilitate cross-border trade, to import and to pay for the food that we consume and other durable goods that we utilize in our everyday living. Oil, gas, everything that we consume, or most of what we consume locally, we need foreign currency in order to be able to trade.
It's been months now since Hurricane Irma tortured Ragged Island, leaving the small southern community in shambles. Soon after seeing the destruction firsthand, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis stood in Parliament and vowed to transform Ragged Island into the first fully green island in the region. But the island's representative, I. Chester Cooper, insists that it's turned more into a catchphrase and that the government needs to do better and faster. To date, said Mr. Cooper, there is no police, no nurse, no doctor, no teacher, no residents on Ragged Island. The island school remains destroyed, water services have still not been fully restored, and public buildings remain in ruins. Now, while Ragged Islanders have vowed to recover and rebuild no matter the length of time and effort it takes, the Inter-American Development Bank says that doesn't make sense, as it would be too costly. Dismissing the thought, Mr. Cooper says the bank's assessment is not something Bahamians should at all take seriously. Further, he believes the inalienable right of Ragged Islanders to live in their ancestral home is not something the Bahamas should entertain or compromise on. You're watching JCN News. There's more straight ahead.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.